So one of the trailers for Brave came out with the Avengers, or was playing before the Avengers. Open night, I go to see it, and I'm sitting there, and I see the trailer, halfway through, it starts playing that Scottish folk song. And I'm like, oh, this is nice, this is nice. The next day, I go to see it again, go to see the Avengers again, and see the Brave trailer again. It starts playing that song again. I think it's in Scottish or Gaelic, or I don't know what language it is. I hear the song, and I turn to my friend, I'm like, Was this in English last night? My memory played that song in English from the first time I saw it in the theater the night previous. But I comprehended that song in English the first time. Apparently it's not. It was just like... Okay, so Brave. I think everybody was going into this movie wanting basically the same thing, and that is redemption for Cars 2, redemption for Pixar. Now, for me personally, that is exactly what I got. Is it among Pixar's best movies? No. But it is sure as hell better, miles better than Cars 2. And I think Brave really shows that they can come back, and it is very different than most other Pixar movies. The producers are the core people you'd expect. I think, Pete Docter, Stanton. But the directors and writers are basically newcomers to Pixar, or at least for the creative team, as far as I know. You can really sense that difference. It's their first foray into fairytale, fable type stuff. And it's actually one of the first movies, I think the first movie that's not in the modern or technological world, which is an interesting opportunity for them to do, and I think in that sense it is one of the it was a lot of fun to see, just to see them do something very different, because it still has that great Pixar charm, but at the same time I keep having to remind myself, it was a Pixar movie. Not that it wasn't good, because I actually was surprised. I just wanted to like it. I didn't really want to, or expect to really love it, and I do. I don't, it's not an amazing movie that just shows the perfect art of animation like most of Pixar movies, but it just shows a great movie. It's definitely one of my favorite films of the year so far, and the more I've been thinking about it, I really do like the movie, and I think it has a lot of fantastic themes. They're not as well integrated into the story as the other writers are good at doing for Pixar, but I think, it still really gets the point across, and it has to be one of the funniest Pixar movies by far. The comedy in there is great, it is genuine, it is not too silly. I mean, it keeps the kids laughing, but I was laughing my ass off, and I'm, not ashamed to say. I adore the voice cast. You have Kelly Macdonald, who plays Merida, the main character, and I feel like she's finally getting out there as an actress, because she was in Harry Potter last year, but she's in Boardwalk Empire, and she's amazing on that show. She's so fantastic here. You have Julie Waters in there, Emma Thompson, Bill Connolly, and Craig Ferguson. I feel like I love Craig Ferguson, but I feel like they just cast him in movies when they need, like, a Scottish accent, like in How to Train Your Dragon. Like, that's his criteria for being cast. And of course you have the John Ratzenberger in there to let you know that this is a Pixar movie. The music is obviously beautiful because it's just the requisite for Pixar movies, and it's a lot more lyrical than usual in here, but it fits the tone so well. And something even my friend and I were talking about is Pixar really doesn't get a lot of credit for its animation because people are focusing on the other things so much. But here I think you really see amazing, beautiful animation, but the fact that the way they capture emotion and the mannerisms is not only good for the emotion, but also hysterical, and these things I can't go into them without giving it away, because I really have to praise the marketing for this movie by making you want to go see it, but really not telling you what, it's like Change Your Fate, but it's not telling you, what the problem is that has to be resolved by the heroine in this case. So that's really good, and I like that because it was a surprise when I saw it, and and the pacing also fantastic, completely entertained the whole time, but still also has that very the poignancy that all Pixar movies have. Maybe not the emotional depth that you go bawling like Toy Story 3 or Up, but it's still there. But I think it's definitely a great return to somewhat form for Pixar, because it's different than a lot of their other stuff. But at the same time, great movies again, and I couldn't be happier about that. But because there are some themes that aren't fully developed, or not developed well, because there are some themes that aren't really fully developed, and some things that I feel like, while they were borrowing from other movies like this, the fairy tale type things, they were using it to more play on the constructs, but still in the same sense. So I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, because it's great. It's not perfect, but I don't even care. It's a great movie. I love it. So yet again, not one of the best Pixar movies. Don't go in expecting WALL-E but it is still fantastic. It is a great movie, and it's just great to see them back. And you also get to see, and the short before is one of their best, really creative, weird but creative like all of them. You get Monsters Inc. 2, or the prequel Monsters University teaser, and you also get a Finding Nemo re-release trailer, so lots of Pixar stuff, totally awesome. So you guys, let me know what your thoughts on Brave are below. Do you think it's redemption for Pixar? What do you think? See you guys. So my friends and I, whenever we would see this trailer, would try to do our best imitations of the really, like, thick Scottish accents. Especially the part of the Irish is like, would ya? If you could have your pudding without eating your meat, would ya? Let's see if anybody gets that reference.